everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to another Playground Sessions live stream. What's up, everyone? I'm Phil, and we've also got Andrew here hanging with me today, moderating the chat. Everyone say hey to Andrew if you haven't already. And I want to say a big happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas or whatever other holiday you might be celebrating. We're about there, you guys. It's crazy. I can't believe we're midway through December already. And we're finished with our holiday medley. Where did the time go? Now, briefly, I'll remind you guys, we've extended the deadline for submitting your video for the recital until the end of this week. It was going to be today. Now you've got until the end of the day Friday. So I just want to remind you guys, keep working on that holiday medley. That's actually what today's lesson is going to be about. I want to help anyone and everyone that needs help getting to the end of the holiday medley. And even if you're not going to make it to all the way to the end, let's just say you want to finish song 2 or song 3, so you can submit that. I want to help you with that. So what can we do today to make that easier for you guys? I want to center our lesson today around the holiday medley and wrapping it up with any questions you guys might have. And in the meantime, I'm going to be sprinkling in some other holiday stuff as well. I wanted to play one of my favorite holiday songs for you guys at some point, if there's time. And I also wanted to tell you guys about something that's fun that's going down this Friday. In fact, why don't I tell you about that right now? So many of you know who the Theorist is. We've been working with the Theorist for a couple years now. He's a YouTuber. He's an amazing pianist and arranger. And he sometimes does a giveaway to his fans where he gives away some playground memberships and some keyboards. I just wanted to let you guys know we're doing that again, and we're going to be announcing the winner this week, this Friday, in 2 days. It's going to be 2 p.m., all right? It's a little bit different of a time than we usually do. But right here on the Playground Sessions YouTube channel, you are going to, you're going to see me live, and you're going to also hear from the Theorist, who's himself going to be announcing each winner. And we're also going to pose a couple of questions to him too and do a bit of a Q&A. So we're going to be hanging with the Theorist. He's going to be giving away some keyboards. Go check out his channel if you guys want to participate in this, by the way. It's open to anyone. Go find the video where he talks about it. It's in the cover. It's in his cover of I'll Be Home for Christmas. And, oh wait, now I'm actually not sure if that's the Christmas song that it is in. Andrew, do me a favor. Pull up the Theorist YouTube and see what cover he's got his giveaway on. It's one of his holiday covers. I think it's I'll Be Home for Christmas too. But either way, you'll see keyboard giveaway in the title. Check it out. And if you guys want to try and participate, go for it. We're going to be hanging with him a bit and announcing those winners on Friday at 2 p.m. Last thing I want to say before we get into the lesson, and by the way, I hope you guys are all writing those comments in right now, those questions you may have. The last thing I want to say is that given that we're wrapping up 2020, I have a bit of sad news, and that is we're going to miss you guys until January 6th. So next week is Christmas Eve, right? Or just about. And the week after is just right before New Year's. So what we have in store for the new year is going to be pretty exciting. We have, as you all are well aware, a new app we're developing. We have some new fun challenges we're going to be putting together. We have some new video stuff coming for the app. A new rights deal for our songs, which is going to allow us to do more songs and, importantly, to put videos with songs in the app. It's really exciting. So what we're going to be doing is taking just two weeks off here on the live so that I can kind of get my year-end my year-end review of everything we've done and what we're going to be doing next year so we can make sure we can get all that stuff to you guys. And so I just want to say we'll miss you until January 6th after tonight. In fact, that means I won't see you guys until next year, till 21 after tonight. All right, so happy holidays, everybody. And I hope everyone had a good time with this medley. I'd like to hear from anyone and everyone right now if you have any questions or comments. In the meantime, I'm going to play a little bit of holiday music, and I got to see at least a few questions come through because I know some of you are still working on that medley. I'm going to do my own version of the songs from the medley. I think I might have done this last week, but I promise it'll be a lot different than last week. So we started the medley, for those who don't know, with Joy to the World. And then we went into a nice little Jingle Bells, and I'll do my version of that here. And I'm kind of improvising a little bit, guys, so bear with me here, but these are really fun themes to mess with. And then we shifted into a nice little Hark the Herald Angels Sing, which is such a beautiful piece. And we could have done that arrangement in so many different ways. I'm really, really happy the way that we did it. I think it was accessible to everybody. And I think throughout all the levels, there was a good balance of fun and challenge, right? And that's the kind of sweet spot that we want to hit when we're working on developing a new skill, like playing the piano. All right, so I got a couple of questions here. We're going to first go to Penelope Court. Hey, Penelope. Penelope asks, could I please ask if there will be a trophy version of the challenge? A trophy version, I believe in the app that means like the performance version, right? The final step in all of your segments. And yeah, I think at the very end we do, in fact, I think the very last segment that you play is in fact measure 1 all the way through the entire piece, which I think is like 65 measures. And
release the full version next week in the song store.
Yes, that might be part of your question. So it will be available in the song store. Just going to take us some time to convert and get stuff over there. It may take around a week or so. But you can, in the meantime, complete the full performance in the last segment of the actual challenge. And when it gets moved into the song store, then yes, you'll see the full thing there too. You're really wanting that trophy, huh? I bet you've been putting that work in, Penelope. I'm glad to hear it. Sarah Pickles, what up, Pick? Sarah says, do you think Carol of the Bells could be a finger isolation work if you use fingers 3, 4, and 5 only? What a great question. First, I guess what I'll do is pick a key, and part of it will depend on your key, Sarah. So a lot of times, Carol of the Bells, which is this, something like that. A lot of times that song will kind of be put in A minor because the melody can then use all white notes. And yes, Sarah, check it out. If I do it with 3, 4, and 5 fingers, it's an excellent workout, especially if you loop it a bunch. Then you can bring the left hand in. Oops. However, there's more to that melody, right? If we do 3, 4, 5, then that means we're not going to have any fingers to reach this part. But for that phrase alone, if you're looking for an exercise, it's a great one. And you can try it with different speeds. You could also move it around to different keys that have black keys for extra weird shape finger workouts, if that makes sense. So again, the nice thing about A minor is it's all white keys, but if we want an extra challenge, you could take it into any other minor key that has some flats or some sharps, right? So maybe something like B flat minor. Or C minor, which would look a lot different. Maybe even try working through a handful of different keys. 100%, great question. The answer is 100% yes. That would be a great exercise. And I'm always a really big fan of finding exercises that are also musical, so that's a perfect example. Charles Smith, what's up, Charles? Charles Smith says, would you consider releasing music in lead sheet format? I'd like to work on my arranging skills. PDF would work well for my score writing software. Okay, so Charles Smith, lovely idea for you to be working on arranging skills. And if you had a lead sheet, that would help you a lot, right? You would have a melody written. And for those who don't know, a lead sheet is a piece of music, typically with a treble staff only, at least for these purposes here for piano. You'll see a lead sheet, you'll see a treble staff with a melody, and then you'll see chord symbols typically above that staff. And that's it. The left hand then is meant to sort of interpret the chord symbol and play whatever the performer wants, because there's a handful of different ways to play each chord, right? So, if you wanted to practice your arranging skills, that to me sounds like you're saying you want to practice writing out different ways of actualizing the harmony. So you want to see what the harmony is. Let's say the chord symbol is an F. That tells you F major, right? But you don't always want to do this for F major chords. Sometimes you might want to do this. All I'm doing there is just different variations of F major, but the lead sheet just tells you the basic thing, F harmony. As an arranger or an improviser, we need to interpret that and come up with some other stuff. So what I will tell you about how we're delivering music in the Playground app, Charles, is our main bread and butter, of course, is the piano arrangement where we have right and left hand written in. But I will also say that, except for rookie level, we don't have chord symbols in the rookie arrangements, but in the intermediate and advanced arrangements, we do have chord symbols, in addition to the left-hand harmony that we've written out. So what I might encourage you to do is to simply close your eyes for the bass staff, or I guess you could put some tape over it or something, but you could still see the chord symbols, and then you could fill in your own left-hand harmony if you'd like. That could work. Now, the last thing I'll say on this is, if we do ever get into teaching some lessons on how to read lead sheets, you better believe we'll have some music examples to practice that have lead sheet notation with chord symbols. But we're not quite there yet, all right? So in the meantime, I would say try and look at the chord symbols in our arrangements, maybe glance at what we've written in the bass staff to see as an example, but then feel free to take it your own way. Try something different in the left. All right, let's keep moving, guys. I'm glad to hear some people in the chat tonight. Hey, Robert Atkins, what's up? Robert says, any plans for a new challenge soon? Robert, yes, there are. What we've learned this year, and maybe you guys have learned this too, these community challenges are super fun, right? It's a way for us to teach, for you guys to learn, but for us to all feel this sense of community as well, which has been challenging, pun intended, in 2020, right, with all of the distancing and the health issues. So we've really leaned in this year to doing some more challenges, and we are definitely going to continue on that path into 2021. You may see some things like a survey come from us, asking for some feedback on some of the challenges, things like that over the coming months, because we want to continue to make sure we're making the stuff you guys actually want, and that we're giving it to you the way that you want. So, for example, some of the survey questions may have to do with, I'm just making this up, but asking about the videos within the challenge, and if you liked the release of the videos, or did you like or dislike the practicing every day portion. We always want to check in with you guys about how things are going to see if we can make tweaks. And we are going to continue to do that, Robert. I can't quite tell you yet what the next challenge is exactly going to be, but I can tell you that we are already forming some ideas. And I can't tell you it's going to be in 2021, I'll tell you that. We're not going to squeeze in a new challenge here before January. But fresh in 2021, we're going to be kicking into something new, I'll tell you that. And I hope to see you there for that. All right, so Lily Mae, pianist. What's up, Lily Mae? Lily says, if you're making a song medley, is it best to stay in the same key, or can you switch keys? Is switching keys what are some good notes to transition with? Okay, Lily, I love the question. First, I would point to the holiday medley that we're almost wrapped up with here. There are 3 different song portions, or chunks you could call them, within this medley. And in fact, between those 3, there are some key changes. We start in the key of C. And then eventually we go to Jingle Bells. Now we're in the key of F, and all B's are flat. So, there you have it. There was a little key change there. And then we go to Hark the Herald Angels Sing. We still stay in the key of F, although we do switch positions. But there was one key change there. So yeah, of course, I would say Lily Mae. I wouldn't even say that one way is better than the other. You say, is it best to stay in one key or is it best to switch keys? I think it all depends on everything else that's going on in the context of your arrangement or of your composition. I probably wouldn't tell you to change keys within a phrase, like that just hurt Andrew's ears. I think it hurt mine too. But you know, you want to use things like that in moderation. You don't want to be going crazy and changing keys every measure. But I would say that when the music feels like it's a natural stopping point, the end of a big phrase, or here in our holiday medley, for example, when we're done with Joy to the World and we're moving on to a new song, anything like that, an ending point, you could take that time to then change keys. And you could decide to change keys to wherever you want to go, although if you use your ear and you use some trial and error, you'll probably find that some keys feel or sound better than others. But you bring up a good point, too, in your next question, Lily Mae. You say, if you are going to switch keys, what are some good notes to transition with? You're thinking about this the right way, Lily Mae. Key changing isn't just about picking a new key and going there and starting to play in that key. You also have to do something really important, and that is typically there's a chord or a series of chords, or sometimes it can even be a note, but it's some sort of material that we use to make our way to the new key. Now, I've talked about this quite a bit, and in fact, I think this might be a good time for our first pop quiz in the middle of answering this, and that's because there is a particular chord in any key that you're going to. And that chord is very important and defining to that new key. And that chord wants to resolve to the one of that key, to the one chord of that key. What chord am I talking about? Is it the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord? In any key, what is the chord that wants to resolve to the one of that key? And the reason I'm asking that is because that is the thinking that you want to do here, Lily Mae. That is the chord you want to look for. If you want to change keys to a new key, you want to think about hinting at the 5 chord of that key. And then you can move into that key, and it will justify the new key very well. So let's see if I can get any answers here in the chat. First correct answer gets it, but let's see how many entries we get here. I'm looking for, the answer is going to be a number. It's either going to be the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 6 chord, the 5 chord, the whatever, okay? And Lily Mae, I'll keep going with my answer here while people write in. But you're going to want to look for a chord that essentially is a pivot chord. It pivots you into that new key. And so, Andrew, what do we think? We got any people writing in yet?
Here we got a couple of different answers. Can
Okay.
I say the function of the chord?
The function of it?
It starts with a D.
Yeah, I would say that I will also accept the function of the chord. So I will either accept, for example, the answer is not the 1 chord, but if it was, I would accept the 1 chord, I would accept 1, and I would also accept tonic, which is the name or the function of that chord. So it's not 1, but those 3 variations of an answer I would accept.
Okay, Robert Atkins says dominant or 5. He said both.
Okay, Robert Atkins says dominant or 5. What other answers we got?
Lily Mae says major 5th.
Ah, Lily Mae says major 5th. Okay. All right, so Lily Mae, you are so close, but I think putting that major there is a little bit confusing because you are right. It is a major chord if it is in a triad form. But if we add that 4th note to the chord, the 7th, it's no longer a major 7 chord, for example, okay? So Robert Atkins is exactly right. The answer is the 5 chord. And Lily Mae, you got that right? Major 5. Is that what she said? Okay, so I'm going to give you a credit, Lily Mae, because you got 5 in there. And when it is in a triad form, it is major. Robert Atkins, I'm going to give you 2 free song credits because you got the right number and the right function. It's the 5 chord, and that's dominant. Did we get one more correct answer?
Yes, Elton John says 5th.
Elton John's going to get one too. There we go. Good work, everybody. So back to my answer here for you, Lily Mae. If we are in the key of C, C is the tonic, G would be the dominant because it's the chord that starts from the 5th scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? That is the dominant. And Lily Mae, when you see it like that, it does just look like a major chord, but you have to remember it's always a dominant 7th chord when we add that 4th note. This chord right here justifies the C chord as the 1 chord, okay? So let's say we're in the key of C, we're going to see a lot of G7s, we're going to see a lot of Cs. Now let's say we want to move to a new key, Lily Mae. Let's say we want to move to the key of F, because that's what we did in Jingle Bells. Okay. Now what I'm suggesting, Lily Mae, is that you figure out what's the 5 chord, or the dominant 7th chord, in the key of F. And then you use that chord to build a bridge to get to your new key of F. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm in the key of C. Here's my 5 chord in the key of C. It's G7. Back to C. Now, the 5 chord in the key of F is C. C major. But don't forget, it's C dominant 7th. That leads us to right into the key of F very nicely. So you might use that C dominant 7th chord, Lily Mae, as a pivot to get you into the key of F. And that's because the C7 chord is the 5 chord in the key of F. It's the dominant in the key of F. Now we can talk about that all day, but I hope that answers your question in that one example there, Lily Mae. Let's keep things moving. All right, so here's a question from Soren. What's up, Soren? Soren says, I found I'll Be Home for Christmas very slow in the intermediate level. I'm wondering why that tempo. Well, there's a couple of things that go into the decisions we make in these arrangements when we arrange songs, Soren. If there's a song that we're arranging by Beyonce, for example, there's really only one version of that song, right? And so we try and make it sound just like it in the backing track, and we refer to that recording as the, that has all the answers, because there's that one key version. And so we're looking at tempo, we're looking at the key, everything else from that Beyonce recording. Now, when it comes to other types of music where there are a ton of different versions out there, maybe there are some more famous than others, but still, there's a ton, right? Like Christmas songs are one of those examples of those categories. What we do then is we kind of look at more broadly. We look at different trends that we find in different versions of the recording. Sometimes there will be a recording that's a bit faster, but in general, if we feel that the recorded versions out there tend to skew slower, well, then we'll skew it slower. But when there are a million versions of a song, we tend to take a little bit more liberties, but we try and reflect kind of what's generally out there in the majority of the recordings. Now, I said this about the holiday medley last week, and I'll say it again now about that particular arrangement, Soren, and that is that if you want to play in the app with the backing track and get a 100% score, or any score for that matter, well, a good score, then you've got to play it in the app as it's written, right? And that includes tempo. However, and of course, I'm not telling you to close the app and stop using it, by no means. But sometimes there is valuable practice time in not linking up with the app, trying something with some rubato or some expression, for example, right? Well, the same thing could be said here for tempo. So if you really love that arrangement, Soren, then you can actually perform it at any tempo you like. And if it's feeling too slow, then we could speed the tempo up. That's totally fine. All right, well, guys, I'm going to play a little bit more for a second. I want to see if you guys have any more questions about the holiday medley. Is anyone stuck on a particular piece? Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Is anyone stuck on a particular piece of the medley? Is anyone trying to, what? Just tell me. I don't want to put words in you guys' mouths. Tell me how I can help. In the meantime, let's see if anybody knows this song. Well, I love that song, and I could play on that all day. That's called Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And in fact, what's fun about Christmas songs to me is you can kind of weave in and out of them, almost make up your own medley, because a lot of them, if you're in the same key at least, a lot of them feel kind of similar, kind of that wintry, holiday cheer kind of vibe. So let me try that a little bit. Any chats? Any comments, questions about the medley? If not, you guys, I just want to take a minute to say I'm so proud of everybody for the work that they've done this year. We've done several challenges. I hope you guys are feeling like better pianists today than you were last Christmas. Can anyone say that? Can anyone let me know in the chat if you're feeling like you're a better pianist now than you were in 2019?
I got one.
I hope so. And in the meantime, Andrew's got one more question for us. Oh, it's from Soren. Okay. So Soren has a suggestion, actually, for the app development. Okay. Soren says, one of the practice sessions can be whole song right hand. Hey, Soren, that's a great idea. We've actually talked about doing something like that in the past. So for everyone that's wondering what Soren's asking about, Soren's saying, you know, if you go through any sort of song in the song store, you learn by chunks, right? You learn the intro first, for example, and you would learn right hand, left hand, both hands. Okay, now verse. Right hand, left hand, both hands, all that, right? Then you get to the end of the song and you put the whole song together, but we don't currently do it where you can play the entire full song just right hand and the entire full song just left hand and then hands together for the whole song. I think we have actually been seeing some comments about that. So Soren, I'm going to say that I think that might be in our future. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the initial release of the new app or not, but I think we may pursue that. So thank you for that suggestion.
Got two more.
Yeah, I got a few more here. So in case there was a delay, I'm gonna leave the chat open a bit longer here. So Elta John asks, hey Elta. Elta says, Phil, do you play mainly from ear? You seem like you can play anything. Well, I do play a lot by ear, and I think my biggest skill is being able to hide mistakes. So I guess you could say that's kind of jazz, right? But yeah, Elta, if it seems like I can play anything, then I am fooling everyone, and that's great. Because a lot of times what I'm thinking about is the melody, which I'm kind of picking out by ear, and I'm thinking about the bass note, which is kind of implied by a lot of the melody, and then I'm filling in some of the quality of the chords, either it's major or minor or dominant. It kind of all boils down to that. And there are several times where I kind of play a wrong chord, a wrong note, and the jazz training in me just tells me to double down on it or to kind of go with it. So then it's no longer a mistake, right? But if I've heard a song many times and I'm familiar with it, I can sing along with it, I know the words, that kind of thing, I typically can pick it out. But that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking melody, bass notes, and filling in the quality in between. David Side's also really, really good at that. All right, one more, you guys. This is from I Love Books to Read. What's up? I love the name. I Love Books to Read says, hi, I tried playing the first few chords in 1,000 Years, advanced. And one of the chords in the beginning doesn't sound right. Can you please change the chord? Well, I Love Books to Read. I actually don't have that in front of me right now. Yeah, we're going to have to get that pulled up specifically for you. And so I think your best bet is to email support@playgroundsessions.com. And simply write your request there, because the support team member will also pull up the arrangement and double check. Sometimes a chord may be written right, but the chord symbol, there's a typo, or other times it may look like it's the wrong chord, but it actually is right, and we can explain why. So there's all sorts of stuff like that. Without having it in front of me, it's difficult for me to answer, and I'm not sure I know that one very well. It's like a slow 3, right? It's like... something like that. It's like some vibe like that. So yeah, I'm going to say send your question to support there, I Love Books to Read, and they'll be able to help you out specifically. You guys, I'll see you in 2021, unless I see some familiar faces in the stream on Friday at 2 p.m. One last reminder, you guys, I want to throw this up. The Theorist is giving away a couple of keyboards and a couple of memberships. If you already have a keyboard and a membership, tell your friend to go check it out. Tell a family member. He's giving them away. You just have to do, you know how it is with social media giveaways. You got to like tag a friend, follow us, whatever. But that's all you got to do. So if I don't see you when I announce these winners on 2 p.m., then I will see you guys in 2021. And I hope everyone has a really fantastic and safe and healthy holiday season. And I hope everyone continues to keep your piano progress going. See you guys later. Thanks.